gamers all around the world. My hair is now green, as you can see. Today I will be teaching you how to micro, the ultimate micro guide for AoE 4. We're gonna start with some basic stuff into the more serious stuff, more complicated stuff. And I've tried putting everything that I could think of, that Twitch chat could think of. There's a lot of stuff to cover. We got a lot of different battles planned out for you guys to see. But here it is. Number one thing in Age of Empires 4 that a lot of people don't know, actually surprising to me, was what is a move. So a lot of people, when they fight, they use the attack command. So if you're lowly, if you're a new player, a lot of people use the right click to attack units instead of a move. So when I say a move, all you gotta do is a move on my stream. A move is attack move. What a move does is units will attack everything in their path. So you can see right here, if I click A and then left click, the units will attack everything in its path from wolves to enemy units. If you right click, the units will only go for that unit, and when that unit is dead, the units will start interacting with others. So Mr. Munch, you can attack with the first knights, you can just A move. So first, let me show you, if I just went on and clicked on a unit, this is what would happen, especially if you click the back unit. What spears will do is they're not attacking, they're trying to reach the back target, and you're losing a lot of DPS, you're losing a lot of damage. This is very noticeable when there's like 30, 40, 50 units. If you have 50 units and you click 50 melee units on one unit, they're just not going to be attacking at all, and they're just going to derp around and you know, do nothing. So, now let me show you with the A move. So again, same battle, I'm just going to A move, and instead of units trying to kill that one knight, they're going to attack everything in their path, whatever comes first. So what you get is a lot more DPS from those spearmen, used a lot better, and without them running around or trying to kill one single unit and kind of wasting DPS and so on and so forth. So there it is. Number one, you should always A move. Never right click on a unit unless you're specifically target firing. Now, I got asked earlier in the chat, when do you target fire? When do you A move? Well, we're going to show you in a different fighter right here. And in this one, let's say the enemy had horsemen too. What would happen is, if I was A moving with my archers would be shooting at the horsemen and the spearmen. But in this situation, I want my archers to kill spearmen so that my horsemen can do the damage. So if the enemy only has spearmen, in this, like right here, nothing else, you can just A move and they will clean them up, right? Can you actually summon a few horsemen, like 5 horsemen with that fight as well? I'm going to show you. If this was just this battle, I would A move my archers because the spearmen would be forward, and that's it. I don't want to overkill by shooting with 15 archers onto one spearman, so instead I would like to spread that damage out evenly, and we don't waste any damage by shooting like 50 arrows into one spearman. But what I need you to do, Mr. Munch, now is just A move into me, and I'm going to show you when you should be target firing, when there's targets that you don't want to be attacking, such as this one, in this case, horsemen. So what I'm going to do is we're going to engage. You can go for it. You can go with all the units. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to target fire with shift click with my archers, and you can run around your horsemen to avoid spearmen. So you can shoot at the spearmen, and slowly, as you're picking off the spearmen, the number is getting reduced more and more, which allows your horsemen to, you know, come in and kind of finish the battle right after. So if I was just A moving, a lot of those archers would be shooting at the horsemen, and horsemen have high ranged armor, so you would be wasting a lot of the damage. The spearmen would maybe connect to your horsemen faster, or they would just be alive longer. So the times where you do want to target fire is if you have units that only want to target fire specific type of unit, especially in the feudal age. Now, if you're maxed out and you have 100 supply army, you don't want to take like 50 archers and, you know, click one spearman at a time. What you want to do is just let them do their damage as much as possible. Now, another thing that you can do is what I did there. If you see the enemy units running towards you and you see them, let's say these are spearmen, what I can do is I can select my archers and then hold shift and then just go like this. So what that will do, because I held shift, I queued up a bunch of commands. So basically the archers will attack this horseman until it dies, then this, then this, then this, then this, and so on. So if you see the enemy having a lot of spears trying to engage you, you can shift click on them, so they're gonna be target fired one at a time. So that's very, very important. Could you make another 10 spearmen and just send them to my archers over here, to the 8 archers? So another thing to note is whenever you're shooting with the archers, if there's a lot of melee units, you want to be kiting away. So if there are units approaching your archers, you always want to shoot and try to run away. The reason you do that is if I right click the spearmen, I would kill 1 or 2 and then they would connect and they would start dealing damage. Spearmen don't counter archers, but why would you want to take free damage? So what you should try and aim to do, you can just aim with the spearmen. What you should try and aim to do is fire. The moment you fire, you move, and now I can use a move because I'm not one-shotting them anyway, so I just want to do it as easy as possible. Now if I was standing, I would have lost those archers long time ago. So you always want to move, shoot, move, shoot, move, shoot, and so on and so forth. Now, when do you turn around? Well, this depends on the unit attack speed. So the archers are 162 attack speed. So literally every 1.6 seconds you want to, A move once again. And the way I did that is as I was cutting away, if you noticed, I wasn't clicking on them. I was moving and then I A move here. And because on the path they're running, there's enemies behind them, they will turn around and shoot. So you don't have to do this and then A move here. You can just run, A move in the back, and because they're in aggro range of the units, they will shoot. Next thing, how to protect your archers with spearmen versus cavalry. So let me show you. So sometimes you will get attacked and the enemy will try to kill your archers. So all you need to do now, Mr. Munch, is just try to kill my archers. So hold on one second. Never run forward with your spears like this. I see this mistake very often because then the spearmen run past and kill your archers. What you want to do is, if you want to engage, you can go for it now. You aim move your archers and then you just hold your spears near your archers. Look at this. You can even use formations and try to block where they're coming from, like this. And now you can micro your archers. Once the enemy is in, now you can micro your archers to kite further away. But always try to keep your spearmen on top of your archers. Once the cavalry engages, you aim move your spearmen, let them do their thing, and then you can select your archers. And if there's enemies, let's say, approaching a lot from this side, you would kite this way, right? If there's enemies approaching from this side, you would run this way through the spearmen, so the cavalry has to go through the spearmen. Never do this. Like if the cavalry is coming from, I don't know, this way, don't cut away. You're not going to outrun the cavalry, right? You want to run into your spearmen so that the spearmen can do DPS and can do damage. That is very, very important. Now, let's explain the formations. So, we have 3 formations. Wedge formation is not used at all in competitive play at the high level, so don't use it. When to use staggered formation? Staggered formation is great to use when avoiding AoE damage. So when you play against Mangonels, when you play against Nest of Bees, when you play against Lensconnect, or any type of AoE damage, the easiest way to avoid AoE damage is use stagger formation. Now, another way I like to use my stagger formation is next, which I can show you right here. So one of the easier ways to surround your archers, so let's say your archers are here and there's cavalry coming. One of the ways to make it really easy, so instead of running like this, what you can do is use staggered formation to spread out your spearmen like this, and then run and put hold position, so your spearmen are covering the archers. Now, if I didn't use that would look like this, which would give opponent a lot more space to surround your archers. So that's another way you can use your stagger formation. And then last, the most important one probably is the line formation. So when do you use line formation? So there's 2 ways. First of all is when your army clump is too big, let's say you have about 80 units, and those 80 units are like one big blob like this, right? If you push forward, not all units will be engaging at the same time. But if you make that line formation like this, the surface area that you'll be attacking with is much, much, much bigger, so it's going to give you a much better engagement. Also, if the enemy has AoE of any kind and you don't know about it, you will be taking less damage. Now, line formation is mostly used with ranged units. Now, you don't need to use line formation with like 5 archers, because you will not be doing enough damage to overkill units. Overkilling units is if a unit has 50 health and you're doing 80 damage per volley. You're overkilling for 30, so you're wasting damage. When you want to use line formation is either when you are kiting, but you don't want to be overkilling a lot. So I have 56 archers right now, and this works for feudal, castle, or imperial age. So if I was putting my units like this, all 56, and shooting, a lot of those units would be shooting the very forward spearmen. So you can come here on open. So if I had 56 archers, they would be shooting at like these few archers. So 56 archers would be overkilling by hundreds of damage probably. So what you want to do instead, this is a battle that is very good for me, but I want to be as efficient as possible with my damage. So I'm going to use a line formation. You can also force the units to face a certain direction by holding right mouse button and then selecting them this way or that way or whichever way. So just A move into me. So in order to clean this up and not take any damage, I'm going to use line formation, A move forward. Once I shoot, I'm going to run backwards. And this way, the minimum amount of damage is getting wasted because I'm doing basically almost splash damage to the spearmen, right? I'm trying to hit as many spearmen as possible. And the way line formation works, if you have enough, sometimes your archers will kind of rotate like they're doing now and prevent you from taking any further damage. Next, picking off villager and running back with a shift. You can turn off in a jiffy now and start mining the mining camp. So how do you engage into villagers to quickly pick off a worker and run away? Maybe there's a tower and you don't want to go too close to it. What you can do is you can click on a villager, right click, and then shift click back. So what that's going to do is going to go kill that villager, and the moment it's dead, they're going to run back. And I just take minimum damage. Now, if you're A moving or something, you might stay too long and you might lose an archer or two. Now, again, you just click, shift click back, and maybe the enemy is AFK, then you can just keep going. But this is something that you can do and then quickly run away to just pick off villager without having any losses. Next, there's a question I get pretty often, which is how do you control multiple unit types? What that means is how do you control like having archers, spearmen, and men-at-arms in your unit comp? Like how do you have the APM, how do you have how do you figure out what to prioritize? So let's say I have this unit type, and this doesn't matter if I'm in castle, feudal, or imperial, it kind of works the same way. So you can summon like 5 more knights, 10 more archers, and 10 more spearmen, by the way. So let's say I'm playing against French and feudal or castle, it doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is you need to prioritize, since you cannot micro every single unit at the same time, you need to prioritize what am I going to get the most value of if I am microing. So let's assume this is my army. I'm going to make it a tiny bit smaller because I have way too many units compared to him. So what am I going to prioritize here? I have 20 archers, 12 spearmen, 11 men-at-arms, and or 12 spearmen, 10 men-at-arms, and 11 horsemen. So what you can do is something like this. The units that you probably want to micro the least are going to be the horsemen and the men-at-arms. The spearmen are very important into protecting your archers, and also because his knights can kill every other unit that you have. So keeping the spearmen alive and them doing well is very important. So if you're suffering from, having low APM, what you can do is, as you're about to fight, you can shift click the horseman here and then A move in the back, so the horseman will go and try to get on top of the archers. Now, at the high level, people do this manually during the battle, but you can do that with shift click or, you know, pre-battle, do that, something like that, so that horsemen engage onto the archers. So I'm gonna do that during the battle so you guys can see. And then what I would normally do, whether you have multiple control groups or one, I would suggest you have 3. If you cannot have 3, if you're a beginner, use 1 and then double click the archers or something so you have them at least selected, or put them in separate control group. Now, at least in feudal age, it's pretty important to have archers in separate control groups, but I'm going to make another video talking about hotkeys and control groups, so let's not too into that here. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my men-at-arms. I don't get any value from microing them. The most value I'm going to get is out of my spearmen, archers, and horsemen. So you can attack with everything, just move, go, go. So let's say for the sake of this video, I'm just going to shift click my horsemen like this and move them back. And I'm going to micro my spearmen so that they don't die to the archers, and I can use my spearmen to protect my archers. You can see the horsemen are shift queued, and now they're gonna go attack from behind, and I can use my spearmen to even target fire the knights or something, or I can kite my archers. And as you can see, the men-at-arms did their job, they tanked, the horsemen got us around on the archers, which is important, and every role kind of had its job. Now, if I have 5 archers, I don't necessarily need to micro archers because it's only 5 of them, right? So depending which unit is the most valuable in your army, that's the unit you want to focus the most on usually. Now, men-at-arms, for example, is not really microable. You just kind of let them do their own thing. But if you have way more archers than horsemen, you want to focus on archers. If you have a lot of horsemen, you probably want to make sure those don't die to spearmen, and so on. Next thing, surrounding cavalry with archers. This one is pretty simple. Mr. Munch, all I need you to do is run towards the cornerstone. So how do you get a surround on the archers if they're running away? What you want to do is not move. What you want to do is move, so you get a charge. Once you get a charge, you want to run past the archers. You can move right now, do a little attack, run, move, and eventually you will get the full surround. So every time you attack, you can move a little bit forward, thus not allowing the archers to run away. Another thing you can do is you can once again use staggered formation to spread, get a good surround on the archers, and then move and remove staggered formation. That's a little bit more complicated, but whenever you're trying to chase archers, remember move to get a charge, and then every time you catch up, move, keep moving instantly, and try to get that surround. Next thing, villager micro versus knights. Okay, what I need you to do now is take 1 knight and just do a charge on the villager on my gold from the bottom side. So this is how to micro your villagers. If a knight comes, you can go all the way down. No, all the way down. It's okay, just go from the bottom side. Like if you're attacking from the bottom side of the map. Yeah. And just wait for charge. So what I'm going to do is when he hits the charge, you can either select one villager, move it, and then move the other villager to block it. Or what you can do is if he hits... Okay, hit the far villager. Give me a second. Okay, you can go. Or what you can do is I'm going to move all my villagers. They're all selected now. Once it gets hit, I'm gonna degroup that villager, and then you can try and block the knight from getting to your villager eventually. Now, the other way, take another knight and do another charge if you can. Another thing you can do is, once he charges, you can just select that villager. You will see which villager will get charged. So this one's going to get charged. It moves, and then once you move through, you can move the other villagers to block the path of the knight, and maybe your spearmen can catch up or something like that and, you know, kill it. Now, one last thing I wanted to show you is a cool thing you can do against French or against any cavalry. You can take your spearmen, and this works for longbow with the palisade thing. or I don't know what they're called, where you put the thing, you can put your spearmen here on hold position. So you can go for a charge now. So I have 2 spearmen, 1 on each side. So if an enemy goes for a charge now, the spearmen will brace and catch them, you know, and get them stunned. And obviously now you're gonna need to actually attack it. The reason why you put stand ground, which is, I call it hold position, is if the spearmen were here, just like this, the moment the knight would be coming, the spearmen would run out, and that allows the enemy to, like, I'll show you now. You can charge again. So if I did not put stand ground, the spearmen would move away, and then the opponent can go around and get him out of position and charge on the other side, just like that. So this is why you want to use stand ground, so that if the enemy charges, the spearman will not be out of position, it will wait to brace, and then you can try and kill it. Alright, next. Explaining villager garrisoning commands. Okay, so let me destroy these buildings. You can position your rams on my berries on the right, by the way. So, in Jiffy. Okay, this is pretty important, and this is something you are going to need to learn if you're going to play AoE4 for a while. These are garrison commands. So, F is garrison. So if I press F, it's to garrison my villagers somewhere. Now if I have a tower here, if I press F, I can press on a tower, and the villagers will go in, right? But you can see everyone's trying to get in. If I press F and then TC, all 15 of them will get into the TC. You don't want to use F as your garrison hotkey. What you want to do is G. G is seek shelter. What the villagers do is they will seek nearby shelter first and then go to the further ones. So for example, if my workers are here, they're not going to run to TC. 5 workers will run to the tower and the 10 will run to the TC. So if I click G right here, you can see they pre-split and they try to find shelter. Okay, there should be 5 in the tower, but probably kick W. So you always want to use G to find shelter whenever you're getting harassed. So if I have villagers here, there's a knight coming, boom, select G, and they get to the safety. Now, once you're inside, this is very important. When you select a tower, if I press D, it will make the villagers go back to work. So if the villagers were chopping wood, they're going to go back to chopping wood. So G, D, they're going to go back to chopping wood. If they're garrison and you press F, that just ungarrisons the villagers and does not make them go back to work. They're just going to stand there. So whenever you use seek shelter, if you want to get them out of specific building, you press D and they're going to go back to work. Now, if you're getting raided by a lot of knights, like here and there, and you're just, you know, selecting villagers, pressing G, selecting villagers, pressing G, and then you have 30 villagers in your town center and your towers, there's a button that's going to make all your villagers go back to work. So I'm going to show you this by building 2 more towers. Let's say these towers are all over the place. They don't have to be close to a town center. So I'm going to press G right here. I'm going to press G. Actually, let me go like this. And these guys are going to go on berries, and these guys are going to go on this gold, let's say. So I have villagers assigned on stone, villagers assigned on berries, villagers assigned on stone, on gold over here. So another hotkey, which is C, but this only works when you press on a town center. It says returns all villagers seeking shelter back to their previous task or location. Now if I press D, this would be return to work from a town center only. Just like if I press this tower and I press D, that's return to town center to work from that tower. But if you select a town center and you press C, all the workers that are sheltered anywhere on the map will go back to work what they were originally doing, whether that was gathering food, gathering wood, gathering stone, gold, or building stuff. So that is very important. So if you want to run with the villagers, always use G and then use C to return all of them, or D if you want to return them from a specific building. How to transfer your villagers from one side of the TC to another. You might have seen this before on the streams, but sometimes you will see a player, a streamer, whatever, have 8 villagers here, and let's say they're chopping wood. This is a little bit more advanced. You don't need to do this, but I'm just explaining how it's done. So let's say I got enough wood and to build a dock or to build a house. So what I can do is right now, I'm going to stop them. I have 7 wood on each one of these guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send them to the berries if I want them to go that way. I'm going to send them to the berries, garrison them, and then press C on my TC. They dropped off the wood, and now they spawned on the other side. So again, let's say I'm going to send them to this wood G. Oh, that's not going to work. You usually don't have towers here on the start of the game. So if I want to send them to this wood right here, instead of sending them all the way around, I go like this, G, and then you can even spam D or C, and as they come in, they're going to slowly pour out. So yeah, that's another cool trick you can use. That being said, let me show you how to kill rams. This is, again, a little bit of advanced micro, but I feel like it's advanced because people don't really know about it. So what I need you to do now is attack with rams. So if I press F, they're going to drop off on this side. So if the enemy is attacking you from this side, you can just press F, attack, garrison. Once the, villagers through torch, you can do it again and again and again. So I can just do this, right? Torch, G to not die, torch, G to not die, and also not only you get your villagers being safe, but also the enemy archers are not going to just blast your villagers. Now same thing, if you have villagers on this side, what you can do is, look at this. I attack the ram, I can press, you can keep going, I can attack ram, I press G, and then I send them back to what they were, wait, what? But does that not work for attacking? Okay, you're gonna have to use F, I guess. That should work, that is weird. What? I'm confused, that should work. Unless I'm doing it wrong, but I don't think I am. Maybe it doesn't? Attacking doesn't work? Okay, you can still do it like this. So, if your enemy is attacking, you can use this and attack that way. Now, can you go on the bottom left side of the town center? Yeah, that's my bad, guys. I've been streaming for too long. I'm too tired. So what you can do, because my workers now, if I garrison them and press F, they're gonna jump out from that side. So what you can do is abuse the or use the sending to resources thing. So I can select them here, let's say, or here. Garrison, and then drop them on the other side, and then use the attack. Now obviously this is a bit complicated, but you can kind of teleport your villagers, and once you learn it, it's gonna be pretty good value for you. Next is the ship micro, and that's gonna be it. This is the last one. By the way, shout out to Mr. Munch for helping me. So number one thing is galley. So remove the in a jiffy cheat and just go fish. Have like 5 fishing ships on one, 5 fishing ships on the other. So I see this very often where when people attack the fishing boats, they attack like this. That's not how you should be attacking. Because the opponent might move, the arrows might dodge, or fishing ships might move, and then you miss the damage, and now look, they're moving and you're not attacking. What you're supposed to do is next. When you go to harass fishing ships, you go like this. You keep moving forward, because the less space between you and the enemy fishing ships, now even if he moves, he will still take full damage. So even if the fishing ships start moving now, you can just follow them and they can't dodge the arrows in melee range, okay? So this is very important. So you can run around with fishing ship. So look, if I go like this, if he runs around, you have sometimes chance to miss or whatever, but you can run with the, take this ship now. If I'm in melee, he can't really avoid damage at all. See that? There's no saving. That's number one. Number two, Springald ships or any civ, they can shoot while moving kind of thing. So what you want to do is, we can just fight, by the way. So you can, you know, move or attack move, and you will be fighting with the enemy ships. Or another thing you can do is you can also start moving and do this kind of attack move, and you can see they will also attack just as they're about to move if they have the charge. So for example, let me show you. Now if I'm recharged, I don't have to wait there and attack. I can just do this. I A move, you saw the first two shoot, and then you can start moving. This is very noticeable in smaller fights with ships, so that you don't stand there and get like blasted by the arrow ships and demo ships and whatever. But you kind of want to try to A move, move away, A move, move away. This is especially good with English because their hulks have +1 range. And last but not least, similar to what I showed you with the fishing ships, you can dodge arrow ships from galleys by moving, similar to how you dodge with mangonels that I showed multiple times. Okay, all I need you to do is just attack my demo. So once the galley shoots, you can dodge, and you can dodge this forever. So as long as you have enough range, you can dodge. So you can dodge this side. As long as you move just as the galley shoots, you can dodge forever. And this works this way. It works the other way. You can keep dodging. And now if you get hit once, you'll see you'll take a shit ton of damage. Demo ships almost get one tap. So it's a very important thing to note. So if you're... can you make one demo ship or just bring one Hulk? And then just try to shoot me with an arrow ship. So basically when you're trying to engage, you have a warcog. Okay. Yeah. So when you're trying to get a demo ship onto the Hulks, what you want to do is try to avoid arrows as you're going in. You can just A move both. Arrow ship too. So what you want to do is as you're running closer to it, you can dodge and try to get a connection that way. If I just went straight at it, it would be dead. And that is pretty much it regarding the micro. I hope I helped you guys in learning something new or maybe understanding some of these micro mechanics better. If you want to learn more, I will be doing a macro guide next, showing you how to macro efficiently, give you guys some pointers regarding how to make sure your army production is constantly ongoing. And then I am also going to be doing hotkeys, tips and tricks regarding how I hotkey my units, why I hotkey them that way, why I hotkey my buildings that way, and everything else to make it easier for you. And we're also going to be discussing hotkeys such as how do you remove stuff from the groups and everything else that goes along with it. If you're watching this on YouTube, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. The next time you see me, I might have different color hair. We'll see. Thank you, Mr. Munch, again for helping out. I appreciate it. Twitch gamers, let's keep going.